brand wants loyal customers, but here is the truth. What leaders think about loyalty and what drives loyalty and what customers actually feel, they are miles apart. And I think that's why today's episode is going to be extra good because we're going to pick apart about what today's loyalty looks like and why it's not always about perks and discounts. Now, there was a recent report by PwC which states that 89% of the leaders think that their organization is actually experiencing growth in terms of loyalty, whereas only 39% of the customers tend to agree. Now, I think that this disparity exists because leaders like to and have to measure loyalty using controllable metrics like engagement scores, renewals, and all that sorts. But customers, they actually measure loyalty in emotional terms, in terms of connection, trust, a sense of belonging. And I think this gap will continue to exist and widen as long as leaders tend to capture these transactional metrics and forget what customers actually feel in sort of behavior and the emotion behind that loyalty.
So, Harshini, this reminded me of one of our previous episodes where we saw a similar report. In that report, it was stated that a majority of business leaders believed that they were actually meeting customer expectations, whereas only a small fraction of customers felt the same way. So, this PwC report, it again states the fact that there is a huge chasm between customer expectations and business reality, and I hope businesses take voice of customer a bit more seriously so that they can bridge this gap as effectively as possible. That brings us to the second story of today. This is another survey report that is done by a company called Mindbody, which exclusively focuses on the fitness, wellness, and beauty industry. This report states a fact that business experts have reiterated time and time again. Businesses have to focus as much on retaining existing customers as they do on acquiring new customers. So, one fact that stood out to me in this report is that it is only 3% of fitness operators that would actually scale down on customer facing amenities. We are talking about things like complimentary eucalyptus towels that customers get after a workout session. So, what this means is that the majority, that is the 97% of operators, would actually scale down their spending on behind the scenes things such as marketing and hiring. They don't want to impact customer facing amenities, which is what helps them retain them in the long run. These businesses have understood the fact that it is member experience that helps in loyalty and retention, which in turn translates to new customer acquisition in the form of word of mouth marketing and community building.
It's very interesting to see how an industry is able to handle their customer retention and their loyalty programs in the times of economic uncertainty, and how in that very industry, community and also personal outreach, like you said, direct communication is helping them with those strategies. Now, I would like to circle back to that PwC report that we were discussing earlier. Now, there is this one particular highlight where it says half of the executives who were surveyed for that report believe that after 3 years, their loyalty programs become obsolete. Now, the main reason that they give for that is that they feel like their programs will lose relevance with their own community. Now, there is another business out there who's trying to tackle this and who's trying to show that when you tie your loyalty program with your community and what your customers actually want, you can build a very good and sustainable program. Now, we're talking about ButcherBox. Now, ButcherBox is a meat subscription business. Now, what they're trying to do is that their baseline benefit is that you get 2% back on purchases. Now, you have heard about this particular loyalty program structure in almost all the businesses right now. But what they are doing differently is that now they're offering tiers of experience. They're offering experiences like virtual cooking classes and having one-on-one with the farmers and the founder. And you can also get an insight into their supply chain. They're trying to build that experience-led loyalty program where customers don't just feel like, sometimes discounts feel like impersonal and that it is easily replaceable. But by offering experiences built into their program, it feels more earned, it feels more personal.
Yeah, and the exclusivity part of the experience that customers get as they move up tiers, that makes a difference. That reminds me of two businesses that are doing this really well, and I've used them a bit frequently, which is like Starbucks and Shell. They have a similar tier-based loyalty and rewards program, wherein customers get different benefits and different rewards based on which tier they are part of. So, for example, Starbucks has this personalized thing where A customer, if they spend a particular amount of money every year, they'll get a free beverage of their choice on their birthday, and the customer is also notified beforehand. So the way forward for loyalty programs is that they have to focus on personalization and community building, which is something that the customers of today are expecting more and more.
100%. I also think that this just goes to show that future of loyalty will be ecosystem based, experience led, emotionally grounded, and like you said, identity driven.
Yeah, so this episode focused on loyalty, and we'd like to share that our latest blog post on the Simplified CX blog. It is a quick guide on how to create a loyalty program. So, if your business doesn't have a loyalty and rewards program yet, we would recommend that you go through the article and find some ideas and insights. That brings us to the end of this episode. For the ad of the week, we have the Unbreakable Toy Cars ad by Mercedes Benz. We love the ad because it's both funny and playful, and it also effectively showcases the brake assist system plus technology by Mercedes Benz, which helps avoid collisions. We've linked the ad in the descriptions. Hope you enjoy watching it.
That concludes this week's episode of the Weekly CX Catch Up, where we deliver late news with latest insights. Until next time.